It is the second Medarot VTuber announced roughly about the 1.5-year mark of the game's anniversary. It is the Learjet type FJK00 Lealila with a kit of Commander, Free Shot, Thunder Shot, Float Legs, and the leg ability of Continuous P, which passively buffs the heat stat of all equipped parts every turn and action is completed. So honestly, across the board, Lealila packs a lot of very conventional skills that make her a very obviously a dedicated stun locker on any team. Commander, however, does add that extra oomph to the battle that does allow her to get past a lot of enemy guards. Commander is a support-based skill that grants essentially radar sight buffs across the team to her allies, but then also applies stealth to self, which makes her untouchable and untargetable unless she's already being targeted, so she can bypass and sneak past enemy shields and attack exactly who she wants and guarantee they don't move. Free Shot and Thunder Shot, pretty self-explanatory, are shooting variants of Freeze and Shock respectively, and essentially what they do is guarantee that the opponent not only does not move and paralyzed in place. Freeze, may I remind you, also grants a inability to dodge or defend, meaning that the next hit they take while frozen, unless they are unfrozen before then, is guaranteed to be a critical hit and guaranteed to land. So honestly, very wonderful for helping a nuker set up behind Lealila in this case, to maybe come up behind her and finish the job after she's frozen the target solid. Thunder Shot, I'd say, is probably the lesser of the two in this case, but still fantastic, as it also does guarantee that opponent is paralyzed and does not move, but it unfortunately does not give the no defend, no evade status that Free Shot does. It does guarantee that attacks will land, but they can still essentially guard from them and help reduce damage. But the paralyzed ailment in this case still does work fantastically in the user's favor, regardless of if the hit is a crit or not. Float Legs also honestly are fantastic on pretty much any and all terrains, as they are A rank across the board, and of course S rank on Cyber, but the leg ability Continuous P already feeds into her naturally high mobility at base, and Continuous P only means that every turn she's alive and her legs are intact, she will be going faster, which means that First Shot may not be the fastest on the field, even though it is a very high chance she probably will be the first of the line. It does mean that she's going to be progressively faster to the point that it's going to guarantee by about turn 2 or 3, nobody's going to outrun her. And if she does not want someone to move, she is going to make sure they do not move. So for these reasons, I would rate Lealila a pretty solid 8 out of 10 across the board as a pure set score. For what she does, she is a very dedicated stun locker and very good at what she does. The one big drawback that Lealila has, though, is the fact that her armor is rather squishy. So as long as no one really touches her, she's okay. But unfortunately, once she takes that first hit or two and it does break something, that's when the trouble starts, because she's very easy to break in this case, especially if you're someone who can outrun her. Or maybe in the case where you do outrun her on a particular turn, the moment you break something spells trouble for Lealila. As a mixed parts score, I would rate her an equal 8 out of 10 across the board, because again, Free Shot, Thunder Shot, fantastic skills to make use of on any team, especially if melee isn't an option, and you still need those paralyzed ailments. Commander is a very solid, conventional support-based skill with an added buff to self, so that can also be used very well, especially if you want to guarantee that certain buffs cannot be interrupted by a shield, especially given that, say, Knight Armor or Baron Castle, or someone who uses a guard-based skill is going to get in the way of it. And of course, Float Legs are always fantastic on any and all terrains, because they do not face any major loss or debuff, much like Sea or Flight might, and the A rank across all terrains means that at the very base, she's still going to get a 10% buff to all of her leg stats, minus HP and heavy limit, of course, on any terrain that she's on.